and welcome to CNBC-TV18 Newsmaker. China has more to worry about than India from the Trump administration. That's the word coming in from the Capgemini Chairman, who is our first newsmaker today. On the show, over the next 30 minutes, we get you 4 newsmakers. To begin with, our first one, in an exclusive interview with CNBC-TV18, Paul Hermelin spoke about the massive expansion strategy in India. I caught up with him and began by asking him about the India growth story. Listen in.
First, we are still growing here in India, and we will grow going forward, notably because we probably reach the balanced level of offshore versus onshore in the US, in the UK, but certainly not in Europe. In Europe, we are still growing and we are progressing in terms of offshore headcount. So that's still a room for expansion in India. But in India itself, people no longer want to be associated with cost savings.
Exactly.
People want to be part of the innovation.
Yeah. If you look at the entire South Asia market, the contribution is about 8% in your last reported results. I know you don't break up the India growth, but by how much are you looking at scaling that up, that component up?
So first, the group is still a little too much European.
Yeah.
Europe is 60% of our revenue.
Yeah.
We have expanded the US, North America to 32, so it starts to become important.
Yeah.
We have to expand in Asia Pacific. So frankly, we have to refresh and rethink our Asia Pacific expansion, including the Indian domestic market. What can we do here? We have some presence, but not enough.
Yeah.
So we are today preparing a strategic expansion in Asia Pacific.
So where does India fit into that strategic expansion plan in terms of specifics?
It's a market we know well. With all the digital ambition of the Indian government, there are many opportunities. You know that I have been tasked by the French government to be the special representative of the French-Indian relationships, which are extremely friendly. We have never seen such a tight connection between these two countries, which is quite promising. So we will try to contribute. We are not alone, and I respect all my Indian competitors that will too try to contribute to these investments, but we will try to work on the smart city program in India.
Have you started conversation with the government on these projects?
We don't need. We start more with the program of smart cities, so a few agencies. We don't work for all Indian governmental agencies, but for some of them, yes.
Yeah. Okay. As far as Indian government contracts are concerned, Paul, before we move ahead, there has been concern raised even by Indian IT players that the Indian government contracts, the domestic contracts are delayed. There is a lot of issues with respect to the carrying out of these projects. Do you agree that...
Can I just say...
Yeah.
It's far better than in most countries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, governmental...
Indian government and IT contracts...
In all countries, government is a difficult market because high expectation, relatively slow decision process, but can I say, Indians are by far not the worst. By far, I can mention a lot of countries where the pace of decision in the public world is not the same. You have to acknowledge ambition are high. There are some projects that are really wonderful and that will mark a new period, a new era, but the decision process is slow. That's life. India is not bad.
Okay, fair enough. Getting back to the point on headcount, Paul, we've seen a lot of IT companies in the process of reskilling, having to take tough decisions where the employees that do not fit the skill bracket have to be moved out.
No, I don't say moved out. I said we have massive reskilling program, massive. So I speak...
How many employees are you looking at in this year?
So far, I think we're above 40,000. So these are start to be
reskilling,
really 40,000 is 40% of our headcount, so it's very significant. The first point is today we are still foreseeing a headcount growth. I know some of our friends, peers, have started to see a headcount reduction. We don't. We will still grow, but in that modest growth, more modest than in the past, there will be massive reskilling.
You know, does it worry you, Paul, though, when you see very categorical rhetorics coming in? Someone who's worked with immigrants, who work very closely and built an entire, workforce around immigrants. Does it worry you, the kind of rhetorics that are coming in from the Trump administration?
Can I be a little provocative?
Yes.
I see some East Europe company still growing 20 to 30% and trying to displace India, which shows that some people find growth. It's up to us to find the same kind of growth. Okay, it will no longer be the 20, 30% year on year, but we will grow 5 to 10%, and that's probably enough to rationalize investments, select good spots. Today with digital, the consumer good market, the retail market are transformed.
Yeah.
When today the big enemy is, for most of them, is Amazon. Not Amazon Web Service, but Amazon as a retail organization.
Yeah.
But that's a big challenge for all retail companies. They have to invest in technology. The only way to cope with Amazon competitive threat is to invest. So no, let's not complain. Let's fight. Let's find the right opportunity. Let's find find growth where it can be found.
Okay. So Trump administration, positive or negative for IT companies?
Trump administration, the speech is more a protectionist speech.
Yeah.
But I would just say, I can understand that, because when you think of the Rust Belt, the Midwest of the US, these have been really they have been more troubled by China than by India. Let's be also straightforward about it.
Yeah.
So the balance of export is very negative with China. So there is a nationalism that rises. There is a nationalism that rises in India too. Just say that's the new world.
Yeah.
But I do not believe the world trade will shrink. I think it will grow. More modestly, a couple of points, maybe 2 to 3 points, no longer 5 to 6. It's not the exuberant globalization, but it's still a world in which we can grow. And I think we should grow, and we should tell the Indian workforce, we need you and we can grow here.
Will FY18 be better than FY17? So far, we are seeing an absolute flattish growth coming in. When will the growth rate start increasing? When will this digital revolution kick into revenues?
So the first point is, we guided for 3%.
3%, yeah.
Which, as I said, was the contrast between a shrinking and a growing segment. We told the market that our objective is to grow organically between 5 and 7, which is a little better, plus external growth. And I think that's the world where we go. The good players will grow high single digit. So it's not a double digit growth, it's high single digit, but with our size, it's a little more normal. When our friends we are speaking of companies of several hundred thousand. So when you grow more than 5%, it's already significant.
Okay, Paul, before we end, let's do a very quick rapid fire round. Quick questions. I'm going to ask you the question. You think about the first thing that comes to mind. Okay? In one word, what does India opportunity mean to you?
India is agility. People are young, energetic, agile.
So your favorite musician?
A few days ago, I went to see Queen of the Stone Age, which is hard rock and roll. I'm not totally heavy metal, but I like tough, demanding, funky rock and roll.
Have you heard Indian music?
I heard Indian music, not energetic enough for me.
Your favorite Indian food?
Everything. I love Indian.
Okay. India, China, Brazil, the next growth stalwart.
Brazil not, China difficult, so it's still India.
It's India? So you would choose India over China?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What stands out?
Just because China is so nationalistic, it's very difficult for foreign company in the service world. I don't say China will not grow. I just say it's a market that is even more protectionist than Trump market.
Trump administration, opportunity, negative for corporates or?
A paradoxical answer. We love when things change, because when things change, they need support. Client will need support to face the change that Trump wants to address. So let's try. Let's be of good faith. Our American clients are eager for our support.
Modi government?
Modi government, a lot of energy. I see a little bit of frustration, but we need more reform in India, and I hope he can provide them.
Okay. GST, complicated or simple?
That looks very complicated.
Complicated. And demonetization that the Modi government has done of 501,000 rupees could have been avoided?
Probably a little less result than expected. Probably a bold move.
Okay.
A bold move. Probably a little less result than expected.
Okay. The next company in India to watch out for? The next tech IT company in India to watch out for? Anything comes to mind?
Today, the startups, frankly. Today, people used to think startups in California. The next Silicon Valley is here. By the way, a little more northern. Usually IT service were very in south of India. There is a big Delhi, Gurgaon ecosystem of startups. What we watch today are innovative startups in India.
Okay, that was the global CEO and chairman of Capgemini. I will take a very short break, but stay tuned. We get you what